Good morning, Western Washington, and happy Friday. I'm Matthew Fab with Western Washington Weather, and today we're going to take a look at the smoke event and heat wave that are impacting Western Washington and the forecast for the next couple of days. So we're starting here today with the purple air quality map, and you can see the Western Washington here is looking mostly in the moderate category this morning. Some areas near the water still in the good category. The mountains are in the elevated parts of the moderate category into the unhealthy for sensitive groups range, and you do have some more unhealthy air over Pierce County in some of the higher elevations there, and you can see Southwest Washington and the Portland metro area are in some unhealthy conditions in unhealthy for sensitive groups to unhealthy categories. So what are we taking a look at in terms of those categories? Green is values 0 to 50. Yellow, which is moderate, is values 51 to 100. And only people with who are very, very sensitive to air pollution will feel any impacts in the moderate category. However, the orange category, which is unhealthy for sensitive groups, values 101 to 150. Sensitive groups include anyone under 18 and anyone over 65, so those people should start to stay inside if these conditions unfold. And then the red here is unhealthy, which is 151 to 200, and this means that a lot of people do start to feel some impacts, and really everyone should try to stay inside. So now let's take a look at our pattern here. You can see again that ridge we've been talking about over the last few days will start to move off to the east over the next day or so, allowing us to still remain on the warm side for the next couple days, and then as we go through Sunday, that ridge is gone. So now let's take a look at the smoke forecast here. You can see this is vertically integrated smoke, so this is smoke aloft. As we go through today, you can see that smoke aloft remains pretty heavy across Western Washington, with those smoke plumes from the Williams Mine fire and the Huckleberry Ridge fire here this one's in the Willapa Hills and could bring some heavier smoke to parts of the coastline. And you can see that smoke just remains heavy aloft all day, and into tonight it gets much heavier. As we go into early Saturday morning, you can see really, really heavy smoke aloft across most of Western Washington and Western Oregon. And we will have some high clouds moving in at this time, but this will be just a very, very smoky morning, and those skies will just be totally covered with smoke. That continues as we go through Saturday with more smoke plumes off fires in Oregon and Washington, putting even more smoke into the atmosphere. And then as we go into Sunday, you can see that smoke, by early Sunday morning here, that smoke starts to get heavy aloft across Western Washington again. So now let's take a look at the surface smoke. This is the smoke that impacts air quality. So as you can see this morning, we have that bad surface smoke across the Portland metro area, including Vancouver and Kelso, Washington. And then for most of the Puget Sound area, there are light concentrations of surface smoke with some heavy concentrations there over parts of the Cascades and around the Huckleberry Ridge fire there in southwest Washington. As we go through the day, today smoke at the surface will worsen across Western Washington and will likely peak here around 4 to 5 p.m. As you can see, that smoke concentration will be not very good from Seattle southward, really from Everett southward actually, and in the Cascades. And you can see it is worst from Olympia southward, where we'll likely have air quality in the unhealthy for sensitive groups to unhealthy categories, which we will likely see unhealthy for sensitive groups across parts of the Cascade foothills and areas from Seattle southward. So keep that in mind tonight. If you are outside or if you have your windows open, that air quality won't be very good. And then as we go through Friday night, you can see the smoke gets a little bit better at the surface but remains. But take a look at these smoke plumes pour a ton of smoke Friday night and now into early Saturday morning into the Portland and Vancouver, Washington areas, and that will likely bring air quality in the unhealthy to very unhealthy categories. So heads up for that if you are down in the Portland metro overnight tonight. And then you can see as we go through Saturday morning that smoke remains and starts to increase again at the surface across Western Washington, and will just remain in these light concentrations all day. Heaviest, of course, now in Cowlitz and Clark counties here and the Portland metro area, and so that will likely be unhealthy air quality for that area all day, and the same in the Cascades. And then as we go into Saturday night to Sunday morning, you can see that smoke just still remains across Western Washington and the Cascades and the Portland metro area as well. So stay tuned over the next couple days because we've got to talk about this a lot more. Now let's take a look at temperatures. You can see today from Seattle northward, highs likely reach the upper 70s near the water to the mid 80s to low 90s inland, and then from Seattle southward, all the areas likely in the upper 80s to low 90s. However, with the heavy smoke aloft, that's going to knock a few degrees off all of the temperatures over the next couple of days. So I doubt the Seattle area reaches 90 again. Maybe Olympia and Shelton do, but I doubt Seattle does due to that smoke aloft. And you can see the coast has some noticeable temperature relief from yesterday. Some of those ocean beaches yesterday got up to the upper 80s to low 90s. And today we'll only get up to the low 70s with highs in the upper 70s to low 80s inland. So a big day of relief for the coast. As we go through Saturday, you can see temperatures decrease Seattle northward, only reaching the upper 70s to low 80s with some mid 80s, possibly low 90s in some of the foothills and the valleys. And from Seattle southward, highs reach the mid to upper 80s. However, again, due to smoke, you could probably knock a few degrees off these temperatures because that smoke aloft is just going to be so heavy. So likely only in the upper, or likely I would say like 82 to 84 degrees for the Seattle area, and not anything over 87 or so due to that smoke. And then on Sunday, you can see cooling across the whole region with areas from Seattle north likely reaching the mid 70s to low 80s. And the upper 70s to low 80s from Seattle south. But again, those temperatures could still be more in the upper 70s due to that smoke. And then you can see on the coast, highs reach the mid 60s on Sunday due to the marine flow coming back in. And then as you can see on Friday here from Chehalis southward, highs in the mid 90s and then possibly the upper 90s for Clark County in the Portland metro area. However, though, due to that smoke, again, these highs will likely only reach the mid 90s because the smoke is so heavy. Here is Saturday, and you can see upper 80s for most of the area, low 90s around Portland and Vancouver, but that will most likely stay in the upper 80s again due to that smoke aloft. And then on Sunday, you can see highs in the low to mid 80s for Southwest Washington, mid 80s for Portland, but this will also be impacted by more heavy smoke aloft. So that smoke just kind of acts as a big blanket to keep the solar radiation out and cool our temperatures a little bit, and we'll probably see that over the next couple days. And real quick here, just a look at low temperatures. You can see lows in the mid 60s again overnight tonight into Saturday morning for the Seattle and Portland metro areas, and that does not provide very much relief, in addition to the fact that there will be a lot of smoke around, so it won't be a very comfortable night for many people across the area. And then you can see Sunday morning lows in the low to mid 60s for Seattle and Portland metro, and upper 50s elsewhere. And still with the smoke, it won't be a super comfortable night with the smoke smell and the moderately warm overnight temperatures. So just keep that in mind, everybody. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share these videos and ring that notification bell. It's the best way to help Western Washington weather grow, and we've got a lot to talk about over the next couple of days as the smoke remains around the area. So stay tuned for that, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.